When I say Armenian genocide, what is the first thing that pops into your head? Have you even heard of it? Know what happened? Or even when it happened? If I personally didn't come from an Armenian heritage, I would have no idea what this event is, especially since it's not talked about enough in our school systems. Events such as this are extremely important to be aware of so that we can learn from history and know how to avoid situations like this, especially hostile situations within nations. My purpose today is to explain why the Armenian genocide should be talked about more, especially within our school systems. I will talk about why the Armenian genocide happened, why it is still denied by Turkey to this day, how acknowledged it is in the world, especially America, and the effect it had on my family, as well as how it's not talked about in all schools. In the Washington Post, Ryan Ginjaris reported that during the genocide that happened a century ago, over 1 million Armenians were killed. However, it wasn't until President Biden's administration that the U.S. acknowledged the genocide. The lack of acknowledgement has led to a lack of knowledge about the genocide among many Americans. Sarah Kohan quotes in her article, The World Was Silent, about an experience of an Armenian American in the public school system. She quotes, My history teacher hadn't even heard of this tragic event, nor had the other history teachers at my middle school. My topic was even foreign to most of the judges. Now, the lack of acknowledgement to the Armenian genocide has led to ignorance within America. Turkey, to this day, will still deny any harm they caused during the genocide. And it wasn't even until 2021 that America officially acknowledged the massacre. And the Turkish government will still deny any wrongdoing on their part, claiming they are justified in their actions of transporting Armenians away from the enemy lines. Ginjaras in 2021 continues, It wasn't the debate over historiography that stopped the U.S. administrations from recognizing the Armenian genocide. It was U.S. foreign policy priorities, for fear of upsetting a long-standing alliance with Turkey. Ginjaris goes on to state that Biden's administration's choice to acknowledge the event is a testament to changing political realities, as it is a clear validation of historical truth. In an article written by Arkin in 2021, they informed that between the years of 1985 to 1994, there were only 5 states that mandated genocide education in general, quoting a hiatus of some 20 years followed before efforts to pass such laws sprung up again in 2014. Arkin continues by giving one example of this through the state of Massachusetts, who faced efforts by Turkish organizations and their supporters to dilute the portion of the state curriculum that recommended teaching the Armenian genocide. If officials chose not to acknowledge this event, then we as citizens shouldn't be afraid to talk about it and make up for their wrongdoing. It's up to us as individuals to not be afraid to talk about the Armenian genocide, so that we can educate those who have been kept from the truth of what happened in the past and are sitting in the dark about the topic. This letter that you see on the screen, is a letter that comes from my great-great-uncle and his report to his family about what happened with his family in Armenia years ago, which included my great-great-grandpa. The Manukian family lived in Armenia but moved to America right before the genocide happened. And one day they decided to go back and visit Armenia, and while they were visiting, that's when they were put into concentration camps, similar to the ones that the Jews faced. And they were there for a while, and by some miracle, America recognized them as U.S. citizens since they had moved previously and got them out of the camp. Soon after, the whole entire camp was killed. My family barely escaped the Armenian genocide. This letter is a representation of how descendants of victims of the genocide are only aware of the event due to their heritage. Otherwise, they, like many Americans, would be ignorant of the event, and I personally would not even know the Armenian genocide had occurred. Citizens of Americans should be informed on this event at a younger age. As of now, most people learn about the genocide in adulthood instead of when they are in school. President Biden has already taken the first step towards change by acknowledging the genocide. Now the next step is to implement it into our school's curriculum. America's previous lack of acknowledgement of the Armenian genocide has led to a high amount of people not being aware of the event, especially due to it not being in most school systems' curriculum. The Armenian genocide is a part of this world's past, and as such, needs to be addressed and talked about instead of being hidden like it has in the past. It's easy to stand by and say there's nothing you can do in this situation, but honestly, it's up to you, and it's up to me, every single one of us, to make a difference, to make the change that needs to happen. If you don't even know how to start with openly talking about it. Change doesn't happen just with a thought. Change happens with action, and it's up to each and every single one of us to take that in any way that they can. And I encourage each and every single one of us to do that through talking about it. Share what the Armenian genocide is, because the more you talk about it, the more it'll be heard.